Good evening. I'm going to call the Tuesday, May 13th, 2025 meeting of Mayor and Council to order. If you'd all rise for the invocation from Councilman Mike Bradley.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the people in this room from our council that deliberate but all want the same thing. For our city to grow, prosper, and be safe. To the city employees who make that possible, and the people in this room that support us. Please give us faith, wisdom, and strength to fulfill these tasks. In Jesus' name we pray. Everybody say,
Amen. If you remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Are there any changes to tonight's agenda meeting?
No, sir, there are not.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to move to approval of the minutes from our emergency meeting on April 17th, 2025. Council has those notes in their packet. If there are no questions or comments on those minutes, I'll set the motion for approval.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Holland, I make that motion.
We have a motion from Councilman Holland. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second it.
We have a second from Councilman Quillen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Point of order.
Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
just please note that I won't be voting because I was absent.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Going to move over to our approval of minutes for the regular meeting on April 22nd. You also have those meeting minutes in your agenda. If there are no questions or comments, I'll set the motion for approval.
Councilwoman Grassett, I make that motion.
We have a motion from Dr. and Councilwoman Stephanie Grassett. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
We have a second from Councilman Mike Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, those pass unanimously. Next on our agenda, Judge Terry Davis, if you wouldn't mind coming forward. Going to administer the oath of office for Councilman Orlando Holland.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Your right hand on the Bible. I, Orlando Holland,
I, Orlando Holland,
do hereby solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution of laws
of the State of Delaware
of the State of Delaware
and the Charter of the City of Seaford,
and the Charter of the City of Seaford,
that I will true faith and allegiance
that I will true faith and allegiance
bear to the same
bear to the same
and defend them against all enemies whatsoever.
and bear and defend them against all enemies whatsoever.
I will faithfully
and
impartially discharge
discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Councilman of the City of Seaford
of the Councilman of the City of Seaford
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
You've done this a couple of That's right. Got to go through all the formalities.
Thank you, dear.
And now it's official. Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Come back, Order.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, our next item on the agenda As a council, annually we conduct our election for vice mayor. You've been provided slips in front of you. At your convenience, if you would fill out your vote for that position and pass them back to me to be counted. And by a tally of 5 unanimous votes, Vice Mayor Dan Henderson, you're back in the same position. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. I'll
Congratulations.
do whatever I can not to disappoint.
Walk the gauntlet.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Thank you for taking on the task. At this time, it's my honor to appoint this upcoming year's council liaison positions. Vice Mayor Dan Henderson will continue to serve as Police and Fire Commissioner. Councilwoman and Dr. Stephanie Grass is going to take on the role of Code and Parks and Recreation. Councilman Mike Bradley is going to remain in the Electric Department. Councilman Orlando Hollins is going to remain in administration, and Councilman Alan Quinlan will take over Public Works and Wastewater Treatment Facility. Thank you all for serving in this capacity. We greatly appreciate it. All right, move on to item number 5, Grade Brook. If you come forward.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I would like to introduce you to the Electric Department's newest hire. This is Jacob Smith. He is our new line crew superintendent. He started on April 28th, and he's done a great job so far. He's been leading the crew every day, and he has a lot of knowledge and experience that he can impart on our crew. He's already got his hands dirty today, did cleanup week.
Attaboy.
So he's been out in the streets, getting things done. So
Appreciate it. Welcome
he's doing a
aboard.
great job for us.
Walk the line.
Walk the line.
Get a few pictures while you're here, make it official. Welcome to a strong crew, strong team. Thank you, Mr. Brook. All right. At this time, we're going to move on to public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment?
Yes, sir. Dan Cannon.
Mr. Canny, if you come forward.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Cannon.
I last addressed Mayor and City Council on April 22nd when I recommended that City Council approve $1.535 million borrowing plan to carry out Phase 1 of the Martin Farm Sewer Relocation Project. Perhaps more importantly, I also made a strong recommendation that Mayor and City Council take a much more proactive role in the oversight of any and all of the million-dollar projects like Martin Farms. And in closing, I noted that there were missing important potential impacts on neighbors and the neighborhood that needed to be shared with citizens. Over the last 3 weeks, I've been seeking information about these missing potential impacts, especially the impact of these projects on water and sewer fees and rates. First from Director Mears and then from City Manager Anderson. Using this example, I consider my public comment tonight a sort of report card on the results of my efforts. In essence, Director Mears told me that my question about the project impacts on water sewer rates and fees were beyond his purview, but will be taken care of during the regular budget process. City Manager Anderson not only seconded this answer, but magnified it into a broader city response, supposed to include all my questions, saying, quote, "We work to address all the items you outlined below during the project planning, development, engineering, and approval process," unquote. My reaction was swift. I asked the city if the city's process is working and effective, Why then don't I now have answers to any of these questions? While we have heard that citizens need only to ask to get answers, the reality is very different. My specific questioning has now obviously hit a wall of unsatisfactory answers to serious questions and concerns. These broad generalizations do not honor the letter and spirit of the idea of community engagement as shown in 2.4 of the Martin Firm's PER, and are not good governing practices. As a result, if I were to have to give a grade to our city, it would have to be a temporary big I for incomplete, which would become an F, failing, if there were no changes in the current answers, quote unquote, answers to my questions. Mr. Anderson has said, we don't like to tell people a lot because we don't like getting them upset. Mr. Mears has said, trust us. Neither position supports transparency and or the willingness to provide citizens with the information we need and deserve. Absent changes, it has become more imperative that Mayor and City Council take a much more proactive role in the oversight and transparency of any and all of the million-dollar projects in order to have citizens get some serious answers to serious questions.
Do we have anybody else here for public comment?
No, sir.
Is there anybody online submitting public comment? Nope. Okay. Going to move over to correspondence. Is there any correspondence?
No, sir, there is not.
All right. Going to move over to new business number 1. I believe Scott Lynch is here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I am not Heather Content, but I'm happy to be here in her place. I'm here this evening to invite Mayor and Council to DMEC's administrative offices in Smyrna, Delaware on Tuesday, June 3rd from 5 to 7 p.m. for our joint council briefing. This event is a great opportunity for networking with your other fellow mayors and councils from other DMEC member communities, and an opportunity to hear about legislative and regulatory updates from DMEC's President and CEO, Kimberly Schlichting. This is an important meeting because already DMEC has tracked over 20 pieces of legislation related to energy and municipal utilities pending in the legislature. Kimberly, our president, will also be providing an update on federal regulatory impacts regarding energy costs. We really appreciate having Smyrna and all of our other members on there. That's why we're located in Smyrna. But we also recognize our other members down here in Sussex County, in Seaford, in Lewis, Milford. We really appreciate having you come to our meetings. We appreciate every single month that staff comes to our council, our board meetings, and participates in a very meaningful way. And with all the effort that goes into that, we would very much like to have you at this meeting on June 3rd. So with that, I brought invitations. If you have not already received them already, I'm happy to leave a few here with you, but there's also an email as well. Other than that, any questions?
Any questions from council for Mr. Lynch? Okay. We greatly appreciate the partnership as well with DMEC. That's a great deal. If you wouldn't mind leaving the invitations, we certainly would appreciate it.
Happy to.
Any additional comments from council? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Going to move on to new business number 2. It is my pleasure to introduce our latest head football coach of the Seaford Blue Jays, Go Jays, Glenn Phillips.
Evening,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Phillips.
Welcome, sir.
Good to see you.
Mayor, council members, councilwoman, thank you for having me. Mayor asked me to come speak. 2 weeks ago. I'm 4 weeks into being at Seaford High School. I just want to let you know who I was, who I am, and what we're planning on doing for the city of Seaford, the school district of Seaford, and what we're about. Glenn Phillips, this will be my 24th year of coaching high school football. Coached 15 years at Laurel High School. 2014, I was the Delaware State Coach of the Year. New superintendent came in, wanted to go a different direction, so I ended up going to Parkside High School in Salisbury, Maryland for the last 8. I took 2 years off due to job requirements. Obviously, I'm not a teacher in the district. I am the superintendent for Delaware Department of Transportation South District. So that's what I bring to Seaford. What I want the council, the city of Seaford, to understand what my philosophies are, or we're going to make good people good. We're going to make good people. We're going to make good citizens, and we're going to put a good product on the field that represents what they wear across their chest with respect. You've heard that motto probably in the late 80s, early 90s with Captain Dick. My goal is to make him proud, make Seaford proud, and just in our 4 weeks, or my short 4 weeks here, we've actually outgrown the new weight room. We're averaging 47 kids at our workouts, 4 days a week, and we're getting ready to open up our spring camp, June 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. All's welcome to come see what we're getting ready to do, how practice is going to be run. And then in summer, our summer camp starts August 4th, but we're going to actually have a camp or a practice open to the public, under the lights, on the field, just for a community outreach. Seaford's been down for a little bit. We're trying to bring that back, and I believe I was hired to do that. Our motto this year is, why not us? You guys, as a city, is starting to bring infrastructure back. You're starting to do great things, so why not the football team as well, or the school district in general? I just don't speak for the football team. I speak for the community. I speak for the city. I speak for my coaching staffs that I'm bringing in, and I appreciate everything. I don't have a big speech. I'm speaking from the heart. I don't plan on going nowhere, so you don't have to have a football coach every 3 years here speaking in front of you. This is my last stop. We're going to make you proud, and I just hope for your support August 29th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Coach Phillips before he departs? Okay. I got Coach Quillen first, or Coach Quillen. Councilman Quillen.
You're on the coach side.
Yeah, well, I've had the privilege of coaching against Glenn in the past, so I just wanted to say congratulations for coming to Seaford. I never thought you would be in blue, but it's good to see you here, and I wish you all the luck in bringing Seaford back to the pride that we used to have in here. And I know what you mean by Captain Dick, 'cause I was a product of Captain Dick, so
Yes, sir.
appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't recall in my memory as my time on the council that a Seaford High School football head coach came before the council, so I appreciate you showing up and stating your case.
Yep. And just so everybody's aware, I've been around the community in the last 4 weeks. The Moose, Dorados, trying to get sponsors. Right now, I have the kids are going to be fed every Thursday and Friday. We are trying to do some fundraising to. We're the only school in the state that doesn't have a end zone camera. So my personal opinion is it's needed. I'm out fundraising in the community elsewhere, and we will have an end zone camera come August. And my wife and daughter showed up before I got up here, so I do want to say, Madison and Carly, thank you for allowing me to do this again. She thought I was done, but I'm back. And it's going to be new for her, but my daughter really enjoys the kids. kids. The kids are really taking emphasis on being good community members, good community leaders, and they understand that my standard is the standard. I will hold them to a standard, and if they deviate from that, there will be repercussions. But I can promise this. If the kids control the controllables, get to school on time, do what they're supposed to inside the brick and mortar building, get to practice on time, and be good community leaders, we're going to be celebrating in Seaford momentarily. There's that much talent around that we're going to be okay. But community leaders, good people inside the buildings, in the town. I've already talked to the police chief, and anybody that wears Seaford football, please call me if there's an issue. I'll be right here.
I got a question or comment from
Just a comment, as the widow of a former Seaford High School football coach, Captain Dick was the best man at my wedding. Best of luck. Would be very proud to see the football team turn around.
Thank you.
Please.
He was hoping I wouldn't say nothing, but, we're going to leave the past in the past, but I work with Glenn, good guy, and glad to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Here for you.
I'll sing your praises too. I've known Glenn since we were teenagers. Yeah, we go way, we go back.
It's not that long.
Hey, great football coach, better mentor of young men. We are very lucky to have you. Thrilled to see what you're going to do with the program. We're here if you need us. Go Jays.
That's it. Go Jays.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to new business number 3, and representatives from Mary Lane Group provide update on all their travels.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Thank you so much. You do have the presentation. I had to back up. I always have a backup. I assume a lot of you, if maybe even just one or two of you, have been to the lights on Mary Lane. Yeah. I want to go beyond just that. It's much more than just lights, what we are trying to accomplish, what our goals, objectives are, the support that we have to bring highlight to that as well, and also go into further support that we would need. Okay? All right, so carrying on a local tradition. I don't know, 25 plus years, almost 30 years, Ken and Nethkin have cut 'em up trees. I don't know if I said I'm Elizabeth Barzak too. I should have said that first. So Elizabeth Barzak, the director of Mary Lane, previously maiden name Everton, born and raised in Seaford, graduated 99, proud to be supporting the community here. So cut 'em up trees, almost 30 years, had a light show that they started, grassroots, little decorations one at a time that grew into something very big. They were getting ready to get rid of it, looking for a home for it. I talked my family into taking it on. I even have tonight volunteers, our committee members, 6 out of the 9 committee members are here tonight, so I greatly appreciate their support. But with this, we wanted to carry on the tradition. WBOC had an article, had a video. I saw that, and I was looking outside and saw the farm and thought, oh, there's an opportunity. We've got kids. It's almost like an Amish barn raising. We can do it, right? A little bit of grit and a lot of help. So if you go to the next slide. This is the location of Mary Lane. So it's off of Elks Road. We did the transfer summer of 2023 from Cut 'em Up Trees. Property is zoned by my parents, Mike and Rosemary Everton, and it's about 3/4 of a mile drive from start to finish. The lane there, so prelude to the end is going to be, we have traffic issues, and if you look just at this image here, I won't get to it till the end, but Cannon Road, 18 going towards 13, and Elks Road, we do get backups there. So we do have a very talented team. We are able to manage it. Safety is our number one concern over anything that we do for everyone. But there could be more improvements or maybe more support there. Okay, thank you. Our committee. So there's a lot of us. It grew. It started out with just 6 of us. We now have 9. So myself as the director, Heather Hostler, Jamie Everton, Dave LaPrade, Beth Charnick, Melinda Miller, Matt LaPrade, Rosemary Everton, Michael Everton, Elisa Stitcher, and James Gadden. They are all huge impact to the Mary Lane display, all participating and all contributing in very unique ways. It's a very diverse group with different skill sets that make it what it is today. And I do want to call out and thank Heather, Jamie, Melinda, Matt, and James for being here this evening, as well as Emberly, who is one of our junior members. Okay. Values. This is really why I wanted to talk to you guys today, what we're about. So our team recently, we meet bi-weekly, but we talked about why are we doing this? And we will bring it up from time to time, but really driving into, why are we doing this? What's the point? You'll get into the hours that we put into in 20-degree weather. But the values, community spirit, and support. And so through this drive-through Christmas light display, it is simple, but it is free. And it is something for the community that has been a tradition in the community for decades now. We want to maintain it. We want to maintain the spirit of it. The joy that you see, some of you I know have been there and volunteered, and the joy that you see in the faces of all ages, it's very heartwarming. And then you've got family, building the family, bringing the joy, and continuing on that tradition. So some of the objectives from that, like I said, carrying on the treasure tradition, providing a free event, especially at a time when finances are strained. So during the holidays, to do something fun with your family, it's easy and it's free. Creating opportunities for organizations to connect for awareness with the community. This is something that we've leaned quite strongly in, more than Cut 'em Up Trees have in the past. We've partnered, there's a long list of it, but we've partnered with a lot of organizations in the community. Seaford Gardens, one of them. The Starfish Ladies is one of them. There's I think at least 14, that it gives a forum for them to bring awareness to what they're trying to do, their objectives, and the opportunities, the things that they prevent for the community. We also want to provide opportunities for the community to be part of the display. This has been overwhelming and very impressive. But we have local businesses, we have individuals that have contributed either their time or materials. WBOC did a broadcast that solicited for, hey, if you want to drop off any used, new donations. It was overwhelming how much that we had. We're still getting donations, and it's May. So what I love about that and what I think is so special, that means that the community is now part of this event, right? So they drive through and they see their pieces that is part of that bigger display. That very powerful, very powerful. Okay. What it takes to make it happen. This is what I want to share. Now, keep in mind, more than half of these hours, it's over 1,000 hours, is in 20-degree weather. So anyone that has volunteered or been outside there during when we do the show, it is often in the 20s. This winter was unusually cold. But we have a total of, over 1,000 hours required to make it happen. It is over 400 hours for setup, 300 hours for running the show, 45 hours for breakdown, and 120 hours for meetings and planning. So we do meet on a regular basis, at least bi-weekly, and then more frequently for special events or topics. There you go. So the sponsors, huge community sponsors. Here we have local businesses, some of the larger businesses too, Texas Roadhouse, etc. But you'll see here a nice mix. And through that, it's 23 local sponsors we've had this past season. We've been able to create a 60-foot tunnel, wooden tunnel, provide candy canes for the guest, electrical supplies, etc. So a lot of support, and then with that, the local families as well, donating the decorations. Key organizations. So with that, donation supporting local nonprofits, we do, the donations that we raise, some of it does go into the electrical or the infrastructure, and then a good portion also goes back into the community. Key organizations that we support, here's Haven, Seaford, Kiwanis, that they were supported by the Cut 'em Up Tree family for decades. We promised to continue to support them as we went forward. We've just recently taken on the Tidal Health Foundation as well. I don't know if the council is familiar with the Tidal Health Foundation and the activities, but right now what excites us the most about their initiatives. One is the traveling mammography that some of you may be aware of, but the other one is the education program that they have for the medical students and graduate program. That is to attract and retain medical staff in the area. To me, that is another very impactful, powerful one. So our team is very much behind it. And then with our team, I work in healthcare. Several of our team members work at Tidal Health and then Mid-Atlantic Services, who my family's business that sponsors this event. They clean many of the Tidal Health buildings and other hospital buildings. Other organizations, this is always fun to say, Nanticoke River Watershed Conservancy, Seaford Community Garden, Little League, Polytech, Sports, St. John's Preschool, Aftershock Youth Ministries, Dublin Hill 4-H. They actually made a large display for our show this year, Laurel Public Library, Seaford Starfish, Delaware Burn Camp, and Mental Health Foundation. And then we also do a Stuff the Sleigh every weekend, Hope and Nathan Toy Drive, Nemora's Child Life Program, Ronald McDonald House, Love Inc., and Whimsical Animal Rescue. So we take that time and all those hours, 1,000 hours, to get as much out of it as we can, all for the community. 2024 was a great year. Over 3,324 cars. We love numbers and love tracking things and organization. It helps make it run so smooth. 3,324 total candy canes, just shy of 9,000, probably about 11,000 people per car. That's averaging about 2 or 3 person per car. Open 17 nights. Donated over $7,000 across 14 local charities, as well as hundreds of items towards Stuff the Sleigh. So a very good year. And I do want to thank the committee members here for the ones that you see here put in more than their fair share, but thank you guys. I just want to thank you. So plans for 2025. The Partnership for Tidal Health Foundation is already underway. Children's Expo, Heather Hostler and I both attended an expo in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago for training. That was very enlightening. 3 full days of Christmas light training in April. Seaford City Council, we're here today, expanding improvements, and then we already have the hours set for this coming up season. We already have the Santa nights confirmed and locked down for this coming up season. Again, we love organization. So with that, we do plan on having it open for 17 nights, opening the first Saturday after Thanksgiving. Okay?
Awesome.
Last one, support. We weighed very heavily, what support, what could we ask of the city council? What could we ask of the city of Seaford? So there's 3 things really that we can highlight here. One is traffic, and I'm not quite sure if the city of Seaford can help because of our location at 8558 Elks Road. I'm not sure where that district is, and my next stop may be the council or the county for support. But currently we do have DELDAT signs in 2 locations on Route 18, one on Elks Road, and do have volunteers that are guiding the traffic with all the safety gear that we have in the area, but it does get quite busy, especially our Santa nights, and having trained individuals to help guide the traffic could be an advantage. So one opportunity for further support would be that. Another one would be the Kiwanis sign. If we can have a posting on the Kiwanis sign for the event to help advertise it as well in this area. We're very heavy on the advertisement in North Seaford, not as heavy down here. And then volunteers, if any of the council members would like to volunteer on one of those very brisk winter nights, you are more than welcome to. The dates are already listed on the slide prior. And we do offer for the volunteers that a portion of the donations would go to their organization, and then a portion of the donations also go to the 3 of our key organizations we support. And that's the Tidal Health Foundation. This is the insurance market. I just really like the picture, and you can kind of see our tunnel in the background. Dave LaPrade built that for us in our Gileo. Niz built that for us last year. Thank you, guys.
Do you have any questions or comments from council?
It's a lot of fun to volunteer.
I challenge the council that we do it this year.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it.
I'll say this, from year 1, taking it on the way you guys did a phenomenal job. and then you turn around in year 2 and you outdid yourselves. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you do year 3.
We will do it every year.
I can't
We have an
wait.
amazing
We want to
team.
see what you learned in
Well-
Philly.
Yeah.
I don't want to undersell, the bridge was phenomenally done. It was amazing. So, I think we did the ribbon cutting for that in June of last year. I remember wearing shorts out there and felt a little weird to do a ribbon cutting for Mary Lane in June, but hey, it is what it is. But I think you highlight exactly what it is. This is not just a winter job. You guys are doing this all year round. On this scale of what you're doing, it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of time, a lot of man hours. So we really appreciate what you do because the community loves this. They get out there in droves, and if you've ever been out there on opening night, it's a scene. So you guys do a phenomenal job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I did want to mention too, half of our staff are children. It's our own kids. So half of the ones putting it up, about 12 children helping us.
Get the McCoy elves out there again this year.
And not to speak for Trish Newcomer, who does this Kiwanis sign, but I think the sign's a given. So,
Absolutely.
All right. Thank
Yep.
you.
Love
Yep.
it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On to new business number 4. Chris Smith. Not sure how you're going to follow that act, but good luck.
thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Thank you for inviting this evening.
Thank you, Jim.
Good evening, Lou. How are you?
Okay. I'm on page 2 if you'd like to follow along. I'd just like to read it if I could. On behalf of Integra Administrative Group, I would like to thank the City of Seaford and for their continued confidence in managing the city's employee benefit programs. In regards to the health care benefits provided by the city to the employees include medical, prescription, dental, vision, hearing, and life insurance. Integra insurance partners are rated A or higher by the AM Best rating agency and will utilize trusted service partners to enhance the members' benefits and manage out-of-pocket costs. In regards to healthcare inflation trend, we utilize the Siegel Health Plan Cost Trend Survey for estimating future projected costs. The 4-year blended projected average is 7.55%. The city's 2024 benefit plan year costs in the first 10 months have exceeded these projections. The greater percentage of these costs incurred in the 2024 calendar year. Although the city's costs are trending higher than projected, they are only 2% higher than the average municipal, medical, and prescription costs published for 2024. The 2025 Siegel Health Plan Cost Trend Survey's projected medical and prescription inflation trend is 7.9%. In regards to the healthcare renewal, Integra requested healthcare quotes from 10 insurance carriers. Of the 4 carriers which submitted health insurance quotes, Integra presented 2 for consideration, one being Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield and the Pan American Life Insurance Company. Based upon several meetings with the city comparing costs, benefits, and employee contributions to other municipal data that has been available, the recommendation for the 2025-2026 benefit plan year is to accept the Pan American proposal option 2B with a projected increase of 8.6% and a projected maximum increase of 5%. You follow along with me on page 3. In regards to the retiree benefits, the Hartford Group Insurance Trust insures the retiree benefit program. The renewal rates effective January 1 of 2025 are $560.53. This was a 0% renewal increase. The retiree dental and vision benefits are administered by Integra at a dental rate of $43.71 per retiree and a vision rate of $18.99 per retiree, which is an 8.6% increase. As to the life insurance carrier we're currently utilizing is Sun Life. and the current rates are under a 2-year agreement and are firm until 9/1 of 2025. There are a few recommended changes that we're looking to make for the 2025 renewal year. And the first is to change the pharmacy benefit manager, it's called a PBM, to Prime Therapeutics. This change is projected to produce an additional savings of $11,000 annually and will allow for better member discounts at the pharmacy. The members can continue to use manufactured coupons, which can lower the cost of expensive specialty pharmacy prescriptions by 25 to 70%. The next recommendation is to increase the vision hardware benefit to $500 annually to help with the rising vision costs. These additional costs are offset by some of the savings that we will see with the change in the pharmacy benefit manager. We're also recommending to include a maximum member cost of $100 per brand prescription, and this change will lower the possibility of members not filling a prescription due to the cost. This additional cost is also offset by the additional savings by the prescription benefit member change. There is some additional information, healthcare information and services that are provided. One of them, I'll pull point number 2, is the Revive Health Swift MD telemedicine program, where employees can speak with a doctor and have a prescription filled 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at a zero cost to them if they need that, if they need a prescription or just need to speak to a doctor. One other benefit, if you'll turn to page 4, is the MedTipster free generic prescription program, and this is where members can get free prescriptions. If you remember the $4 Walmart prescriptions many years ago, it kind of follows that same line where members can get prescriptions, low-cost generic prescriptions for free. The number 4 is the Value Max Pharmacy Program, and this is the program that I had mentioned where the members can receive prescriptions at a reduced cost from $0 to $5, and the city can get those prescriptions at a 75% discount to a 25% discount, somewhere in that range, depending upon the prescription. There's additional information that you can certainly look at, but that's all I have for tonight, unless you have any questions.
Are there any questions or comments for Mr. Smith from council? Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Appreciate it.
The only thing I'd like to add, if you don't mind, Mayor, you have a second item in your packet, and it's a memo from our Director of Finance, and it lays out the changes from the, if council accepts this recommendation from Integra, then the costs that the city pays as well as the employee pays will go up. So single coverage will increase by $1.45 per week. Employee child coverage will go up by $7.79 per week. Employee spouse and employee family both will go up by $12.13 per week. We've kept the percentages the same. That's the recommendation. Additionally, it is required by our collective bargaining agreement with the Teamsters, our police union, that we meet with them. Our Director of Finance did do that, did reach out to the representative with the Teamsters, provided them the information, gave them an opportunity to review it. They did say they had no comments. So you have that information. Mr. Smith has made the recommendation to approve option 2B from Pan America.
If there are no additional comments or questions from council, I will accept the motion.
Councilman Holland, Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve the recommendation of June Merritt, Director of Human Resources and Finance, to accept the Pan American proposal, option 2B, for the 2025 health insurance renewal as presented.
Okay, there's a motion from Councilman Holland. Is there a second?
Councilman Quillen, I'll second.
I have a second from Councilman Quillen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
On to new business, number 5, and our Director of Economic Development and Community Relations, Tricia Newcomer.
Good Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
As you all are aware, we have been working through the project of the Oyster House Park down along the river for quite some time, and we've been doing so with a very, very strategic partner, and that being the Chesapeake Conservancy. This evening, joining us is the interim president and CEO, E.J. Amiot. I think I got that right. And he has a request with regard to changing the name of the park, so I'll turn it to him.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's an honor to be with you all this evening as we reflect on what Oyster House Park has become and what it represents for the city of Seaford. This park is more than a public space. It tells a story of revitalization, of heritage, and of vision. And at the heart of that story is one individual, Randall Larimore. Randy grew up right here in Seaford and graduated from Seaford High School in 1965 as a proud Blue Jay. His father served as mayor and instilled in him a deep sense of civic responsibility that continues to guide Randy's commitment to this community. As chairman of the Chesapeake Conservancy's board of directors, Randy imagined this national park-like experience in Seaford on the banks of the river and worked to protect other sites along the Nanticoke River, like the Nanticoke Crossing Park in Woodland. He played a leading role in collaboration with the city, Chesapeake Conservancy, and others in acquiring the land. This effort marked a landmark partnership among governmental and nonprofit organizations to preserve land in western Sussex County for conservation and public recreation. Randy has made significant personal contributions to the Oyster House Park project and has been instrumental in success to date. By leveraging his strong relationships with regional philanthropists, including the Purdue Foundation and Freeman Foundation, he helped secure critical private funding to advance the project. Working in partnership with the City of Seaford, Randy has helped transform the site into a vibrant public space that celebrates Seaford's oyster heritage and improves public access to the river. Randy's deep love for Seaford and his unwavering drive to give back are woven into the fabric of this park. Naming it Larimore Oyster House Park would be a fitting tribute to a native son whose vision, generosity, and leadership have created a lasting legacy for generations to come. On behalf of Chesapeake Conservancy, I respectfully ask for your consideration and support in naming this special place after Randall Larimore. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Vice Mayor.
What level of inquiry was made with the Seaford Historical Society? This park is built on the site of the J.B. Robinson Oyster House. And notwithstanding Mr. Larimore's contributions, this is sort of pushing to the side the historical importance of the site because of the Oyster House. I'd like to know if there was any feedback from Mrs. Bramhall, the Historical Society. What level of feedback did you receive from them?
That I am not aware of. I haven't received that specific feedback, so I'm not aware of that, but that's something.
You know, I'm keenly aware of Mr. Larimore's. I mean, without his help, this wouldn't have happened. But this is supposed to be a historical interpretation of the Robinson Oyster House, and to supplant that name, I think I'm just thinking that we ought to figure out some other way to honor Mr. Larimore rather than brushing aside the Robinson name.
Any additional questions or comments from council?
I will make a comment, and it's neither positive nor negative. I knew Randall Sr., I knew his wife. He was very active in the community. I've known him since I was a small child. And of course, Mrs. Larimore was librarian over in the high school. So I understand your point, and I'm sure that they should probably have a say in it. But Also, the Larimore family had a prominence in the community, and we shouldn't recognize that in some fashion.
There's no doubt. I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Except that future generations will come down to the Larimore Oyster House Park, and it was never the Larimore Oyster House.
It's a kind of a slippery slope to go down right now.
I would say your point's well taken. There's a historical significance, and there's a significant sensitivity to that aspect. So perhaps looping in individuals for the Historical Society and getting feedback might be an option. Just a thought.
I agree with that.
Are there any additional questions or comments from council at this time? If there are not, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor, I respectfully make a motion to delay the decision on this so that we can get some input from the Robinson heirs and the Historical Society, and give you some time to formulate a deserved and fitting memorial, or not memorial, but honorarium for Mr. Larimore for all he's done. So I make that motion to delay.
Okay, we have a motion from Vice Mayor Dan Henderson. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
And a second from Councilman Mike Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, passed unanimously. So I'll give you a little time. We'll circle back on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, new business number 6, and Ms. Newcomer, I believe you're back up again.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good
Again.
evening.
This evening, we've got the property disposal for that was put out for the RFP for Poplar Street and Cedar Avenue. This is known as tax map and parcel 431-4.00-72.00. And if you will remember that the city determined that this property had been, was eligible for excess, that we no longer needed the property. It's about 9,000 square feet, and it is zoned R2 medium density residential. The property can no longer be subdivided, and the intent was to invite owner-occupied affordable workforce single-family housing into the area. Some of the minimum standards that were set forth in the RFP, again, the lot cannot be subdivided. There's to be only one single-family house constructed on the lot. Minimum square footage to be no less than 1,200 square feet, with a minimum of one attached or detached garage for the lot. The single-family house will be an owner-occupied affordable workforce house. The developer must start work within 9 months of land purchase from the city. That developer cannot resell or subcontract with any other developer without the written consent and approval from the city council. And if this should fall through, the city has the ability to repurchase the property from them at the price that was submitted. So we only received one one RFP for this, and it was from Sussex County Habitat for Humanity. The committee met on that and determined that they did meet the neighborhood standards, and it fit in the neighborhood and would provide the community benefit. They offered to purchase the land for $32,000, and they are prepared to settle within 30 days, so they're ready to go on that. It will be a single-family story home, and they have done several other projects here in the city, as well as just more recent, acquired through a similar process through RFP, the property on Front and King Street. So the Economic Development Committee recommended to award this to Sussex County Habitat for Humanity.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Newcomer. Are there any questions for Ms. Newcomer from council? Okay. If there are no questions or comments, at this time, I'll set the motion.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Holland, I make the motion. Trish Newcomer, Director of Economic Development and Community Relations, to present a recommendation from the Economic Development Committee regarding the city property disposal, RFP, for the Poplar and Cedar Avenue lot.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Holland. Do we have a second?
Councilman Henderson, I second.
Okay. I have a question on the motion. I'm going to pause right there for a second. In my workbook, it looks like a duplication.
It is,
Yep,
it generally says what we need. It just needs to be clear that it is to Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilman, would you mind restating your motion and including it is going to Habitat for Humanity?
Yes, I sure will. I'll restate my motion to approve the recommendation for Trish Newcomer, Director of Economic Development and Community Relations, to present a recommendation from the Economic Development Committee regarding city property disposal, RFP, for the property in Cedar Avenue lot for humane and Habitat
For Humanity.
and Humanity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have a motion from Councilman Holland. Is there a second?
I will second.
And a second from Vice Mayor Henderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Thank you for picking that up.
Yes, sir. New business number 7, Deputy Chief Tyler Justice.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good evening.
I'm up here before you tonight to talk about a proposal that the chief and I have discussed this extensively. And we are seeking to create a third lieutenant's position while also keeping the current staff sergeant position. As most of you are aware, Staff Sergeant Valerie Horn is currently in that role, and she is number 1 on the lieutenant's band. So this would effectively amount to a promotion for her from that role to the lieutenant's position, and then therefore would also result in a promotion of Senior Patrol Sergeant Toby Lorian to the Staff Sergeant role. Now, the main reason we think this is necessary is we have received a directive from the council that he wishes to pursue DPAC and CALIA accreditation. One of the side effects of that push for accreditation is a significant increase in work hours towards that, towards training requirements, towards reporting requirements, and general policy and other types of oversight required by especially CALIA. Many other departments have entire individuals associated just to that role, and Staff Sergeant Horn in the lieutenant's position, that would be her primary function. She currently, as the staff sergeant, has a bunch of different hats. She does our fleet maintenance, vehicle registration. She's in charge of our red light program, our intoxilizer for DUIs. She is our department's training officer. She also supervises the cadet program. She coordinates all of our community events. And she handles tracking and documentation of those events as well. And then there's always, of course, with any job, there's other duties as assigned, right? And with CALIA and everything else, she is incredibly busy and overworked, and especially for the last few months has not been able to devote as much attention to some of those other areas as we would like. It's just, kind of the cost of doing business. But we also believe strongly that elevation of Toby Lorian to the staff sergeant position would equip him in his specialized skills, especially as a trainer and a firearms expert, to take over some of the roles as a range and firearms trainer for the department, to coordinate our Virtra simulator, which some of you are aware of, to start up and run a drone program for the department, as well as take over some of the other things from Staff Sergeant Horn, like fleet oversight, cadet program supervision as well. So I believe you have all been provided with the proposal, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The second consideration for it is really as a matter of retention. Staff Sergeant Horn will shortly be available to retire, but she has informed us that, you know, if she is promoted, she would commit to an additional 3 years with the department. Sergeant Lorian is getting close to retirement as well, and we think a promotion would also serve as a potential retention tool for Sergeant Lorian. This is important because we are in a bit of a, call it, leadership gap right now. Most of our leadership team is able to, or very soon able to, retire, and the people who would fill those roles have, in most cases, many fewer years than you would want for someone in those roles. So it's kind of important for us to try and extend our leadership team as much as possible to cover up some of the retention issues that we have had in the past and that we've done a pretty good job with fixing. But, you know, we really need time to train up our next generation of leaders and officers so that they can kind of step seamlessly into their next roles. So I hope I kind of summed that up well, and I'll gladly take any questions from the council.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Do you have any questions of Vice Mayor?
I don't have a specific question, but I would like to add on to what you've presented, that DPAC accreditation is not optional. It's
Correct,
compulsory
yes.
now. CALIA is optional, but there's a lot of overlap, and it definitely is additive to making a better organization. The other comment that I will make is that when you open up the senior patrol sergeant, it opens up opportunities for movement in the corporal ranks and the patrolman first class ranks. So it just gives the organization some flow, and I think that's a positive thing.
Yes, sir. Any additional comments or questions from the council?
I'll just make one additional comment, and it's in the memo from the chief. There are financial impacts related to this. This would be a unbudgeted expenditure should the council proceed, but the recommendation that the deputy chief and the chief have worked long and hard to come up with, the senior sergeant would be promoted to lieutenant, so that's about a $6,000 annual salary adjustment. The staff sergeant is a lateral move. It creates no increase in pay or anything of that nature. So while there is a financial impact, it is relatively small, and it is an unbudgeted expenditure, but there are additional funds in the current FY25 budget because unfortunately we were not able to hire the 3 officers in this last round. So we do have ample funds available should council decide to approve this recommendation from the deputy chief.
Thank you for that clarity, City Manager.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. If there are no additional questions or comments from council at this time, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve the recommendation of Deputy Chief Tyler Justice to establish a 3rd lieutenant position while keeping the current staff sergeant position as an unbudgeted expenditure as presented.
All right, we have a motion from Vice Mayor Dan Henderson. Is there a second?
Councilman Holland, I'll second that motion.
A second from Councilman Holland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. Thank you very much. On to new business number 8.
Thank you, Mayor. You do have in your packages a document that needs to be presented to Delaware Public Archives, and it's the appointment of records officers and authorized agents for FY26. We do this every year. So our records officer would be Beth Stewart, our city clerk, and then the appointment of authorized agents would be Tricia Newcomer, Charles Anderson, and June Merritt. These are the same officers last year. We just need to file this annually, and council does need to take action on this officially.
All right. Are there any questions for our city manager on new business number 8? All right, if there are no questions or comments, I'll accept the motion.
Councilman Holland, I make the motion to approve the appointment of records officers and authorized agents for the FY 2026 as presented.
We have a motion from Councilman Holland. Is there a second?
Councilman Quillen, I'll second that.
A second from Councilman Quillen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. On to new business number 9. And Director of Public Works, Burley Mears. Excuse me.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
So Love Inc. received some CTF funding to repave their parking lot. So we went out to bid for it last Wednesday, and we received 4 bids. Jerry's Inc. is the apparent low bidder at $21,095. So I made a recommendation to accept their bid.
Please.
Thank you, Director. Okay. Are there any questions from council regarding new business number 9 for Director Mears? Okay. If there are no questions or comments, Vice Mayor.
Just to reiterate that we're just managing these funds. These don't come from city funds.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clarity, Vice Mayor. If there are no questions or comments, at this time, I'll accept the motion.
Councilwoman Grassett, I make a motion to award the bid for the Love Inc. parking paving to Jerry's Paving in the amount of $21,095 as presented.
All right, we have a motion from Councilwoman Grassett. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
A second from Councilman Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. New business number 10 is going to be tabled for the time being. I'm going to move on to new business.
Can we get a motion to table?
Yep, I should do that.
That's
Excuse
okay.
me. Let's go for the motions. Can I get a motion on new business number 10 to table it, please?
Councilwoman Grassett, I make a motion to postpone the vote on new business item number 10.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Grassett. We have a motion from Councilwoman Grassett. Is there a second?
Yeah, Councilman Quillen, I'll second.
A second from Councilman Quillen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. That passes. And on to new business number 11. And Mr. Brook is back.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Our schedule to replace the electric department's service truck is every 10 years. The current service truck is a 2017. It takes approximately 11 to 24 months to build a truck, depending on which vendor we use. In the FY25 budget, we have $87,500. That is for a down payment on a truck, but it's not, down payment's not required. The purchase of the new service truck is in the FY26 budget, but may get changed to the FY27 budget depending on the time of delivery. We use Sourcewell to obtain prices. We've received 2 prices. Sourcewell is a pre-approved bid process, just like a Delaware State bid. The 2 quotes we received 1 quote from Altech. It's $242,973 with an estimated delivery date of 20 to 23 months. The price from VersaLift was $259,176 with an estimated delivery date of 11 to 13 months. That's a difference of $16,203. We budgeted, in the FY26 budget, we budgeted $250,000 for a service truck. So that would leave VersaLift $9,176 over budget. It's my recommendation that we go with the VersaLift service truck based on delivery time and the condition of our current service truck. Our current service truck receives a lot of wear and tear and is our most relied on truck for outages and service work. Especially when we need to fit in tight spaces such as backyards, which is where most outages occur, unfortunately. They're not right out on the road. It's a critical piece of equipment for our electric department. The most recent truck that we ordered was a VersaLift. I believe Mayor and Council, some of you may have flown in the bucket at a council meeting. It was completed and delivered on time. It's a good product, and the customer service from VersaLift has been phenomenal. VersaLift came to Seaford and met with Director Bill Bennett and I and spec'd out the entire truck. They listened to all our needs and concerns and came back with something that we're very confident in. And they've done the same thing with the service truck. We've never heard from Altech regarding the service truck, just an email with a bid. It's my worry that if we go with the Altech, with the delivery date being 20 to 23 months, we could run into problems with our current service truck. We've had problems with the oil leaking into the antifreeze. With the last service truck that we ordered, we were 6 months out from receiving our new service truck, and the turbo went up on the service truck. That cost us over $7,000 to replace that. So and we were out for about a month without a service truck. I've looked into rental prices for something similar to what we have. There's nothing exactly similar to our service truck. And we're looking at anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a week to rent a service truck if something were to happen to our current service truck, and around $5,000 a month. So that's my recommendation. I know it's more expensive and out of budget, but my recommendation is to go with the VersaLift truck.
Are there any questions from council for Director Brooke?
I just have a comment. I'm very impressed that you went to the effort to research everything, and you got prices on what the expense would be in case there was a breakdown to justify your decision in terms of why you should go with a more expensive truck. I also understand the time involved with this, so thank you for doing
I
that much
appreciate that.
homework. I'm impressed.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What was the number that you said was in the 25 budget? 50-some thousand?
In the 25 budget is $87,500 for a down payment.
When do you have to expend the funds for the VersaLift? I mean, do you have to have a deposit when you issue the PO, or do you have to pay for it upon delivery?
With the Sourcewell pricing, we don't have to have the down payment. I'm not entirely sure of the timeline on the payment.
Typically, we write them a check when the equipment is delivered.
When it's delivered.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I mean, it's entirely possible that we won't expend any funds until 27.
Yes.
That's likely.
Cut with the VersaLift being an 11 to 13 month, 11 to 13 month delivery date. You're looking at the beginning of 26. It's possibly, delivery date would be August or September of, possibly October of 27.
Well, that's FY 27.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next thing is that this 259,000, if it's approved, is that already baked into the 26 budget?
I'd have to look at it. I don't want to say yes to you and be incorrect. So I'd have to look at it. But with the delivery of this, we can go back with the delivery timing. If it is, we'll talk with Greg, Bill, Mr. Brooke, Mr. Bennett, and Ms. Merritt about removing it, because if we're not going to get it, and it is in that budget, we can.
That's my concern,
Understood.
because,
Yes, sir.
we have a lot of capital
We do.
that is showing up, and we're constrained. We're
Yeah.
turning over all kinds of things to save money, and this pushes it out, and we can think
you're-
for a year how we're going to raise that money.
You're not asking us to design it here. We
No,
obviously will
no.
come back with, but with a truck of this nature, we'll take a loan out. We would recommend doing that. So if nothing else, all we really need to do in the next budget is put one payment. So if it is in there, we can drastically reduce it, but we will take a look at that prior to budget meeting number 2.
Thank you.
It's scary, Vice Mayor. I was thinking the exact same thing, word for word. Been doing it for too long. I do have one question. The vehicle you have now, when you get the newer version of VersaLift in theory, I may have missed it. What do you do with that, the older vehicle?
I'm sorry?
The current one you have now?
We tried to get a trade-in.
Yeah.
But neither company would offer us a
Yes,
trade-in.
neither company provided it.
And that's been
Trade-in
happening
value.
to us the last few bids because trucks take so long now.
Oh, sure.
And we spec them. They don't want to say, we'll give you 15,000 for it and then come back in 2 years and the mileage has run up or it's not as good a condition. So with the last one, we did
You
we did
auctioned
our
it
own
off,
sol-
right?
Auction.
we did our own solicitation, and we did get $15,000 for, it was truck 3, was it not?
I think it was actually 16 and a half, I believe.
Yeah.
16.5 for the
Yeah, so
truck
so
three.
that's how we did that, because nobody now, the vendors are not giving us trade-in prices because
So,
of these long times.
And again, so we have to come back to council, but theoretically, we could do that again, potentially.
We absolutely would do that again. So once we have the new piece of equipment in hand, they strip everything off of it that they want or need, then yeah, we would access it and
I guess my point being that if we're going over, $9,000 and change now, but if we potentially could auction off the older vehicle, you're kind of recouping a little bit of
we
your.
would recoup some funds, yes, sir.
Yeah. Every little dollar counts there, so.
Certainly
All right,
does.
any additional questions for Director Brooke? All right, if we have no additional questions, I'll accept the motion.
Councilman Bradley, I would like to make a motion to award the bid for the electric utility service truck to VersaLift in the amount of $259,176 as presented.
We have a motion from Councilman Bradley. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Vice Mayor Henderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes
Thank you.
unanimously. Thank you,
Thank you,
Director
Brad.
Brooke. And old business. We're on old business number 1, and Mr. Bailey, welcome.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm back for the second reading of an amendment to Chapter 15 zoning. Is ordinance 2025-03. So this is the recodification of the zoning ordinance to update it to the current format of the rest of our code book, and it will combine the zoning ordinance with our land use and development specs. So we have one uniform document that we could give out to developers or builders when they have questions about how to do things and what's required in the zoning. So most of it is the same. This encompasses all the most recent changes that we've had over the past few years in the old version of the zoning ordinance, with a few new ones. So some uses by right in the M1 light industrial district. We're putting some exemptions in the manufacturing section of chicken and beef, and then a list of prohibited uses listed there. A lot of common sense things that are listed in the other zoning district for the industrial park and the Ross Business Park. Also, as for fences, where we're going to limit the height for a fence in a front yard setback area of 3.5 feet. So that will eliminate visibility issues at intersections with other people's driveways. We run into that a lot with fences where they want to put this full height fence out and it's blocking a neighbor's driveway, stuff like that. So the county has similar code in their zoning ordinance, so we're just matching that. Other than that, it's all in there, just reformatted and one document that's easier to maintain and easier to read.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments for Mr. Bailey? If there are no additional questions or comments, at this time, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendments to Chapter 15 zoning of the municipal code as presented.
We have a motion from Councilman Quinlan. Is there a second?
Councilman Holland, I second that motion.
A second from Councilman Holland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And on to reminder of meetings.
Just a few, sir. We have citywide cleanup week going on currently, May 12th through 16th. I'm being told by the Director of Public Works this may hang into next week because of the weather.
Yep.
So just reassure the public, if we don't get there on the prescribed times, we will be there. Friday Night Live, the first one this year is May 16th, 5 p.m. at the grass lot behind City Hall. Memorial Day ceremony Monday, May 26th, 11 a.m. in Kiwanis Park. And then we have budget workshop meeting number 2, May 20th at 6 p.m. here in City Council chambers. That is all I have, sir.
All right, before we move on to liaison reports, do want to thank you and your team, City Manager. Cleanup Week is a big deal for the city. It's a heavy lift by some people, literally and figuratively. I've seen those stuff on people's lawns. But it does a great amount of good for our community. So everybody involved with Cleanup Week, we really appreciate you. Okay, we'll move on to liaison reports. And for the last time, Public Waste.
Yes, for the last
Public
time,
Works.
I get all these Public Works initials. I'll have to make a cheat code for Councilman Quillen. In Public Works, they have cleaned up a couple properties for code, did weed spraying around the pump stations and then the main drags throughout the city. They provided barricades for a function at Mount Olivet as well as for Brews and Clues. Worked on water meter issues. They installed all the requested speed limit signs that the community of Muirfield had requested. They got equipment serviced and cleaned for cleanup week. And they also met with GMB to discuss our wastewater treatment projects that are upcoming and received the bids that we voted on this evening for paving. As far as the wastewater treatment plant, settling and clarity have improved significantly. They had a dewatering on 4/21 and that session ran well. They did have a drive fail on the BFP polymer pump, but they did make changes to that. They changed both of the BFP belts. They did finally get a green light from DENREC for conducting a 90-day trial using a new disinfectant alternative. And they performed other PFAS samplings in conjunction with the Delaware River Water Authority, I think that's what it is.
Delaware
Rural, thank you,
Association, yes.
thank you. And PFA Solutions, and they cleaned both sides of the contact tank. In the upcoming weeks, they have cleanup week that we just mentioned, as well as they're going to be serving a new water service on Pond Street and continue to keep the wastewater treatment plant up and running with no violations. And that is my final report for Public Works and wastewater treatment.
Thank you, Councilwoman Grassett. And not for the final time, Police and Fire and Vice Mayor Dan Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Fire Chief Wilson and Police Chief Kraft and also Deputy Chief Justice filled me on the liaison meeting. I appreciate that. So it's a comprehensive report as usual, and I will go through it in an abbreviated fashion to give my voice a little break and to give you a break. Under fire statistics, there are total department responses. There's a total for the year 2025 of 2,133 calls for an average of 16.1 calls per day. You can see that there's April data that gives you fire and EMS responses with numbers of hours, miles traveled, and some other key data. There's another fuel usage chart, the number of times at the pump and the number of gallons of unleaded and diesel consumed. Under significant incidents, there was, I will call your attention to May 11th at 111 North Conwell Street. There was a residential fire with subject trapped, and later on in the report, I'll call attention to the police department's involvement in that fire. Under apparatus, all fire department apparatus are in service. You'll see the listed training, the last training and the next training coming up, and a total number of hours committed to training and learning in the department. Under EMS, all ambulances are in service. There's one open full-time firefighter EMT position available. Liam Stabner was hired for part-time firefighter EMT, and they're announcing that they will be present for the May 30th Seaford High School graduation for EMS standby. You'll see a number of, under news and events, a number of activities that we're committed to, and there is a line here for the Seaford Police Department and Delaware State police officers made a rescue of one female patient from the rear porch roof from a second floor window on the response at 111 North Conwell Street. So the way Chief Wilson described it, he didn't understand quite how the officers got up on the roof. I think it was, you know, a combination of stepping on air conditioners and shimmying up gutters and things like that. So we appreciate their agility and their bravery for going up and rescuing a victim. So moving on to Seaford Police Department, you'll see the columns going back 5 years. The 2025 column is incomplete. It's a year in progress, but you can measure it based on the progress through the year where we're at. Under burglaries, I will call your attention that there were 23 burglaries, but 10 of those were considered burglaries and 13 are actually theft from vehicles. They are classified differently, but they're counted under the one category. Under all crimes are 209, and you'll see the distribution of all of the classifications of crime. For an 81% clearance rate, that's, I think, down a little bit from the previous period, but still above average. Under additional crime data, there were 30 complaints, including assault, aggravated assault, burglary, fraud, indecent exposure, larceny, and sex crimes. And that excludes shoplifting, and that's a 7% clearance rate. And I think that's attributed to a shortage of manpower. Would that be correct, Deputy Chief? You had some people out?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a number of trainings the last weeks.
So expect some of these to move, thank you. Expect some of these to move through, and the clearance rate will return to normal. Under drug crimes, we had you had 8 adult arrests and 1 pending active arrest, 0 overdoses. That does not mean that there were no overdoses in the city. These are just no overdoses that the police department made contact with. There may have been overdoses from EMS. Under traffic, there's 269 traffic contacts, 175 citations, and 21 warnings. You'll see, if you were to get out reports from previous periods, you'll see that the number of citations is rising versus traffic contacts, and that's due to people deserving citations, but also it's just in speed enforcement and some other proactive activities that the city police department is trying to make the streets safer. There were, even though we had all this enforcement and some of these initiatives, there were still 25 crashes during the period. I will also note that this is a shortened period. The ending date was May 8th, where it's usually this past Monday. So there were like 3 or 4 days that don't count in this. So you'll see these, the numbers are still up there. but they may be increased in the next report because you have three or four extra days. So just take that to heart when you see the next report. Under traffic, there were 6 hit-and-run accidents, or hit-and-run, I'll call them accidents, 3 on private property and 3 on public roadways. There was 1 pedestrian accident, Herring Run Road and Jet Avenue. And I do not know if that was an injury accident. I will find out for you. Under significant events, I will just say, I won't go into specifics. You can read those at your leisure. And the administration's been very busy with meetings with our state representatives, statewide offices, and that we also, I attended the Seaford Empowerment Coalition team meeting with the chief, the deputy chief, and also the mayor was there, among a number of others in the community, and that was hopefully the start of a good collaboration to reduce gun violence in the city, or violence, period. Still more community events. The Food On program is ongoing. Our SRO will be at the prom, or was at the prom, on May 3rd, and there was a ribbon cutting that the chief and administrative sergeant and the SRO attended for a community bank. The Spear team is continuing training, and there are Senior Corporal Jones and Corporal Palm attended the FBI LEADA Supervisory Leadership Institute, and we want to congratulate them on that step in their career and becoming better law enforcement officers. The cadets are training, and they will when did they get sworn?
I believe it's the 19th.
Yeah, the cadets will be sworn in on the 19th of May. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm going to move over to administration and Councilman Orlando Holland.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Did attended the DMAC board meeting and also attended SCAT meeting / dinner in Bridgeville. And the meeting was held with Public Works Director and engineers about the upcoming wastewater and treatment expansion for the public hearing. And they attended the Community Bank ribbon cutting. And I'd like to say congratulations to Community Bank on the opening of a new branch here in Seaford. Kudos to Jack Riddle. And RT performed equipment set up on patrol cars, and they attended various other meetings and events. And all the work is routine, Mr. Mayor. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Holland. Moving over to electric and Councilman Mike Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, Bill wasn't able to attend our normal meeting. Charles and Trish attended the chamber meeting, so I did what I know how to do best, talk to myself, which can be quite entertaining. Okay, first of all, 100 Herring Run Park is now electrified. Set a transformer in Bel Air and installed primary wire. Danny, Mike, Dylan, and Bill went to training at the Annixter Wesco building. And knowledge is power, no pun intended. Dug secondary conduit in the Muirfield 1 Phase 4. Continued work at Hooper's Landing to change the maintenance feed to the front of the property. Changed a bad capacitor on Stein. Continued work in Bel Air with more street lamps to install and 8 homes to be connected. Took down some infrastructure at Hooper's Landing. Jacob Smith started his position as new line crew, and we met him just recently. And Greg and Bill worked on the FY26 budget and had a workshop. On a side note, Lisa, one of our homeless residents, was seen by my wife recklessly walking in and out of traffic on Front. Marie called the police, and I want to commend our police department for their fast response on what could have been a disaster. Respectfully submitted, Mike Bradley.
Thank you, Councilman Bradley. Over to Code and Parks and Recreation and Councilman Alan Quillen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This will be my last report here doing Code and Parks and Rec, and I just want to say it's been an honor this past year to serve as a liaison for both of these departments. I do want to say that we have some very good, dedicated employees in both of these departments, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve them for this past year. And Councilwoman Ms. Grassett, you'll enjoy working with these individuals, I know. And I'll miss them, but I've developed some relationships there along the way that will be always stay true to my heart. So going to my report, I'll start off with the code report. Nothing really new here. We have issued 175 permits as of year to date, and we're still at 1,832 licensed, and all of our inspections are ongoing. The entire crew for the code department, that's Mike, Shannon, Buddy, and Brent, are assisting with the cleanup week. The projects are still ongoing. Muirfield, Phase 4 still ongoing. Bel Air, single-family dwellings are still ongoing. Western Sussex campus, I heard some good news, this possibility this morning from Director Newcomer at the chamber meeting, that we might have some possible tenants looking into that. So that's going to be some good news there too, is here. And definitely the Nylon Capital Shopping Center is well on its way. Also at the chamber meeting this morning was Rob Herrera, which gave us another update on the progress of that and where he's heading with that. Sounds very promising, getting some more and more tenants in there. So that's going to be a lot of activity in the next 6 months is going to be happening in there. So it's going to be a welcome addition to our community. Moving over to Parks and Rec, preparations of the softball and soccer fields have been ongoing. Week number 5 has been completed with the soccer program, and they will be starting playoffs, which started last night. Completed week 4 of the men's softball program. Organizing youth and adult pickleball clinics, which will probably be sometime in June. Made several irrigation repairs throughout the city. Installed a fence at City Hall at the grass lot. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the grass lot's behind City Hall. Whoops, there it is right there on the screen. Thank you very much, Ms. Trish. And it looks very nice. I was riding by, and the crew was out there putting it up, and they looked like they were having a pretty good time doing it, so I just stopped and talked to them a little bit, and they were like, they really enjoyed what they were doing out there. So we appreciate the Parks Department with their assistance in getting that completed. The Spade and Trowel Club planters boxes have been planted and are on downtown bridges. Attended the FY26 budget workshop on May 6th. And on Saturday, May 10th, we hosted the inaugural Brews and Clues event in downtown Seaford. Overall, it was an event that was very successful and a very good positive feedback from the participants and from the local businesses. I think might have been, and there's some more pictures up there of the event going on. I think this is an event that's going to grow and become just like maybe something Riverfest was years ago. I think the word of mouth will get out, and I think the people that were out there on the streets were having a good time, enjoying themselves. Unfortunately, I was out of town and I could not attend, but I've heard all the good positive things about that. So I do want to say thank you to all the members of the city staff who were involved with it, and also Downtown Seaford Association. I think Seaford Tomorrow was involved. Police Department was involved. We had so many people involved in the community that did a great time out there, and having a nice event. I think once we get the Oyster Park done and things like that, it's going to be even grow further down in that area down in there. So thank you to everybody who put the hard work into making this an event that is going to be successful in the future here. That's my report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Quillen. I will double up some of that commentary. Overwhelmingly positive response from businesses during that event. I had businesses that I walked into just to see how they felt the day was going, and the feedback I got was people were coming into my shop that never been here before. They didn't know we were here. People that went into the brewery said I had not been here since it was a coffee shop. So unanimously from all businesses, it built a lot of traffic, got them to have different conversations, possibly got them some new customers. So I think from the business standpoint, all the feedback I received is overwhelmingly positive. So yeah, tremendous success for Katie and her team, Downtown Seaford Association, the city at large. All the employees takes to pull something like that off. We really appreciate it because I can tell you the businesses, they very much appreciate it. And one more thing, Councilwoman Grassett, you reminded me of something, and they told me this is going to be public, so I can say it.
My birthday next week?
Almost.
Oh my gosh.
Sunday, I'm going to get the honor of going to visit Mount Olivet and to recognize the Mount Olivet Church Preschool. They've positively impacted the lives of many youth in this area for decades. And I get an opportunity to go in there and to recognize them for all they've done. This Sunday coming up, very much looking forward to it, but just wanted to say publicly, we really appreciate everybody that's ever opened those doors to the youth in our area. I know thousands of kids have gone through those doors. So I'm looking forward to recognizing them on Sunday. And with that, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
Councilman Quillen, so moved.
A motion from Councilman Quillen. Is there a second?
Councilwoman Grassett, I second.
A second from Councilwoman Grassett. All in the favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Have a good night.